chosen one. Someone around you is carrying a truth so dark it explains why they cling to you the way they do, because the secret they're hiding about how they stay alive goes completely against divine order, and your energy feels like their only lifeline. This person is spiritually collapsing. What should be sacred exchange becomes extraction. What should be connection becomes consumption, and your light makes you the perfect target. They've studied you, rehearsed their charm, perfected their approach, not out of love but out of survival. Stay alert. Your intuition is already warning you. Think about a snake charming a cobra. The music plays, the snake sways, it looks like dancing. It looks like the cobra is making its own choices, but really, the cobra is under someone else's control. That's what's being done to you. You're being put in a trance without realizing it. Your natural defenses are being bypassed. You're being made to feel like you're freely choosing to engage when really, every moment is being orchestrated to get what's needed. Your energy, your light, your life force. Now pay attention because this gets darker. The reason your energy is needed so desperately is because what's been done has consequences, real consequences, physical consequences. This isn't just spiritual depletion, physical deterioration is happening. The lifestyle of moving from person to person, bed to bed, conquest to conquest, draining energy from everyone encountered, has created sickness in the body, disease, decay, and there's full awareness of it. But instead of changing behavior, instead of doing the work to actually heal, there's been a doubling down. A decision was made that if close enough proximity can be achieved with someone who has really powerful healing energy, someone like you, maybe enough light can be absorbed to push back the darkness consuming from the inside. Maybe enough vitality can be stolen to keep the sickness at bay a little longer. Maybe feeding off your purity can temporarily mask the corruption. That's the deadly secret. Intimacy is being used as a harvesting tool. Every person seduced, every connection created, every moment of closeness, it's extraction. Everything gets taken. Nothing gets given back. And the people left behind wonder why such drain is felt, such depletion, such confusion about what happened. This person might even present as spiritual. There might be talk about energy and consciousness and divine purpose. Claims of being a healer might be made. All the right language might be used, all your interests mirrored, understanding shown in ways others don't. But watch the energy, not the words. The energy is murky, heavy, distorted. Everything runs through base desires. Everything gets filtered through need and hunger and consumption. You can actually see it if you pay attention. Notice how you feel in this presence compared to how you feel around genuinely spiritual people. With real healers, real light workers, real spiritually aligned individuals, you feel lighter, elevated, inspired. With this person you feel drained, confused, like something is being pulled from you, even when nothing obvious is happening. That's because something is being pulled from you. The feeding starts the moment you're in the presence. It intensifies with physical contact, and it reaches peak extraction during intimate moments. And there's counting on something, counting on your compassion, betting that your healer nature will make you want to help, gambling that when you sense the suffering, your instinct will be to reach out, to support, to be the light in darkness. Your own beautiful qualities are being weaponized against you, because healers like you struggle to turn away from someone in pain, even when that pain is being used as bait in a trap. This used to be enjoyed. There was a thrill in the conquest, a rush from the energy transfer. Someone would be seduced, what was needed would be taken, and fantastic feelings would last for weeks. New opportunities would manifest, material things would appear, whatever was wanted would be attracted. It worked like magic, and in a twisted way it was magic, dark magic, the kind that always demands payment. But something shifted. What used to be pleasurable became necessary. What started as a game became an addiction. What was once optional became mandatory for survival. Now this isn't being done because of want. This is being done because without regular energy harvesting, falling apart begins. The sickness gets worse. The darkness spreads. The body begins failing. Your light isn't needed anymore to feel good, but to stay alive. That's why there's desperation in how you're being approached. That's why the intensity feels almost overwhelming. Time is running out. The consequences are catching up. The spiritual laws violated are demanding payment. The physical disease contracted from the lifestyle is progressing. And you've been identified as someone who might be able to extend the timeline. Someone whose energy is pure enough, strong enough, potent enough to keep things going a little longer. You cannot save this. Your healing energy cannot cure someone actively choosing to stay sick. Your light cannot transform someone committed to darkness. Your love cannot fix someone using intimacy as a weapon. Trying to heal this person won't help. It will only destroy you. Because when you engage, when you let this person close, when you share your energy through intimate contact, you don't just give your light. You take on the darkness, the sickness, the spiritual disease, the karma, the consequences. Energy doesn't lie. What gets carried will transfer to you. The contamination in that field will seep into yours. The parasitic attachments clinging there will find new hosting in you. Think about that for a second. You'd be taking on the accumulated darkness of everyone who's been drained, the residue of every person who's been fed from, the energetic debris of countless intimate encounters, the spiritual pollution of years of parasitic behavior. Is any attraction worth that? Is any temporary connection worth compromising everything you've worked lifetimes to build? The universe operates on certain immutable laws. Energy must be generated, not stolen. Life force must be cultivated through inner work, not extracted from others. Vitality comes from alignment with Source, not from parasitic attachment to those who've done the work being refused. A shortcut has been figured out. Discovery was made that all the difficult inner work can be bypassed, all the shadow integration, all the healing and growth that creates genuine light. Instead, yours just gets taken. A way was found to appear alive, appear vibrant, appear healthy, without actually doing any of the spiritual labor required to be those things. And that's the violation. That's what makes this against divine law. Think about it like this. Think of someone who wants to be strong but refuses to exercise. No desire exists to do the hard work of building muscle, increasing endurance, developing discipline. So instead, a way gets found to siphon strength directly from athletes. The results get achieved without the process. The reward gets received without the effort. That's fundamentally corrupt. That's cheating the system. That's violating the very structure of how growth and development work. The same thing is being done energetically. The benefits of being spiritually evolved are wanted without evolving. The glow of someone who's healed is desired without healing. The vitality of someone aligned with Source is craved without doing alignment work. So it gets stolen from you. And every time this happens, every time feeding occurs instead of growing, movement happens further from any possibility of genuine transformation. If this message awakens something within you, hype this video for other chosen ones who need to hear this. Every time energy gets stolen instead of generated, your own capacity to ever generate it naturally gets damaged. Every time draining happens instead of doing inner work, the spiritual muscles that would allow creation of your own light atrophy. It's like someone who becomes so dependent on a drug that the body stops producing the natural chemicals needed. A dependency gets created that becomes harder to break with each feeding. Now a point has been reached where your own energy might not even be capable of being generated anymore. Such reliance has been built on stealing from others that the spiritual energy production system has shut down. Literal inability exists to sustain without external sources. That's why such desperation exists. That's why you're needed so badly. Without someone to feed from, collapse happens. Without someone to drain, the sickness takes over completely. And the sickness itself is fascinating in a horrifying way. What's being experienced isn't just random illness, it's the physical manifestation of spiritual corruption. When you violate divine law consistently, when you build your entire existence on theft and exploitation, when you corrupt sacred practices like intimacy for parasitic purposes, your body begins to reflect that corruption. The ancient texts talk about this. They speak of people who feed on others becoming hollowed out, empty vessels that look human but have lost divine spark. walking contradictions who appear alive but are fundamentally dead inside. This isn't metaphor, this is literal energetic reality. Soul vitality has been traded for temporary stolen energy, and the body is starting to show the cost. Your specific vulnerability is your healer nature. This has been identified about you. Knowledge exists that when you sense pain in another person, your instinct is to alleviate it. Understanding is present that when you feel someone suffering, you want to share your light to ease that suffering. So weaponization of the pain itself has been learned. Brokenness gets displayed strategically. Suffering gets revealed in calculated ways, designed to trigger your healing response. And the moment you move toward this with compassion, the moment you open your heart to help, you've been gotten, because that openness, that desire to heal, that willingness to share your light, it creates the perfect conditions for extraction. You're voluntarily lowering your defenses, you're intentionally opening your energy field, you're consciously directing your life force toward this person, and it just gets redirected into the self, instead of allowing it to facilitate healing. This is the deadly secret in its fullest expression. Your greatest strength has been learned to be turned into your greatest vulnerability. Your divine gifts are being figured out how to use against you. Discovery was made that the very thing that makes you special, your ability to channel healing energy, can be exploited if the approach is done correctly. You're developing discernment. You're understanding that not everyone who appears to need healing actually wants it. You're recognizing that some people are so committed to sickness that fighting against genuine transformation happens while desperately seeking temporary relief through energy theft. And this understanding is what protects you. The divine didn't give you healing abilities, so exploitation by parasites could happen. Source didn't bless you with powerful energy, so siphoning off could occur by those too lazy or too corrupted to do their own work. The universe didn't choose you to carry light, so one sick individual could extend parasitic existence a little longer. Your gifts have purpose, real purpose, sacred purpose, and that purpose never includes being someone's personal energy reservoir. There's something else you need to understand about how this affects things spiritually. Every time feeding happens off someone, every time energy gets stolen instead of generated, karmic debt accumulates. Massive karmic debt. Because this isn't just taking energy, this is interfering with someone else's path. This is depleting someone who might have used that energy to help many others. This is disrupting the natural flow of divine energy through the collective. And the universe keeps track. Divine law keeps meticulous accounts. Every violation gets recorded. Every theft gets noted. Every corruption of sacred practice gets marked. And payment always comes due. Always. The sickness you see in the body now, that's just the beginning. That's the first installment on a debt so large it might take lifetimes to repay. But here's what's most tragic. If stopping happened now, if transformation got chosen over continuation, if the work to heal properly actually got done, turning this around might be possible. The universe is infinitely forgiving to those who genuinely seek redemption. Divine grace is available even to those who've fallen far into darkness. But redemption requires something that seems unwilling to be given: honesty, responsibility, genuine desire to change. And from what you're seeing, from what you're sensing, no intention of changing exists. The approach to you isn't happening because healing is wanted. The approach is happening because feeding is wanted. Transformation isn't being sought. Transfusion is being sought. You're being seen as a solution to a problem that doesn't require fundamental alteration of what has been become. This is why you must be unmovable in your boundary. This is why compassion without discernment is dangerous. This is why your no needs to be absolute, because any crack in your armor, any moment of wavering, any softening of your resolve, exploitation will happen. Expertise is developed at finding and widening the smallest opening. This has had to happen. Survival depends on it. And survival is really what this comes down to. For this person, this isn't about connection or love or even pleasure anymore. It's about staying alive. It's about maintaining the stolen vitality that keeps the failing body functioning. It's about getting another fix of genuine life force to push back the decay consuming from within. You're not a person in this scenario. You're medicine. You're a life support system. You're a battery to be drained. The way staying alive happens is fundamentally against divine design because life isn't meant to be sustained through parasitism on this level. Physical parasites exist in nature, yes, but even those serve ecological purposes and operate within natural limits. What's being done transcends natural parasitism. This is conscious, intentional, calculated exploitation of sacred energy exchange. This is the corruption of intimacy, which is one of the most holy acts available to humans. Intimacy was designed by the divine as a way for two souls to merge temporarily, to share essence, to co-create energy that elevates both parties. It's meant to be a sacred exchange where both people give and both people receive, where the connection itself generates new energy that didn't exist before. It's supposed to leave both people feeling more alive, more connected, more whole, but this has been turned into a one-way extraction system. Something sacred has been corrupted into something parasitic. An act meant to create and multiply energy has been twisted into a mechanism for stealing and hoarding. This is why it's against divine plan. This is why spiritual law gets violated. This is why the consequences are so severe. The universe cannot allow this corruption to continue indefinitely. Divine law must restore balance, and the restoration is already beginning. You can see it in the increasing desperation. You can sense it in how urgently you're being pursued. What's coming is being felt. Knowledge exists that time is running out. Awareness is present that the body can only sustain itself on stolen energy for so long before it demands authentic vitality or shuts down completely. And here's the thing that's being refused to accept. You cannot save this from happening. No amount of your energy will reverse what's been done. No quantity of your light will cleanse the darkness deliberately cultivated. No depth of your healing will transform someone committed to remaining sick. The only thing that could create salvation is a choice that has to be made personally. A choice to stop feeding. A choice to start healing. A choice to face what's been done and commit to genuine transformation. But that choice would require experiencing something that's been run from possibly for years. Withdrawal. The agony of a system dependent on stolen energy suddenly having to function without it. The excruciating process of reactivating capacity to generate life force after letting that capacity atrophy. The brutal confrontation with all the pain and shadow that's been avoided by staying in a constant state of feeding-induced numbness. Most people in this position never make that choice. It's too hard, too painful, too terrifying, so feeding continues until it can't anymore, until the body gives out, until the karmic debt collector arrives, until the universe says enough and initiates the reckoning that's been delayed. You witnessing this, you seeing clearly what this is and what's being done, this is you being protected from becoming part of the final chapter. Because it won't end well. It can't end well. Not when an entire existence has been built on violating fundamental spiritual laws. Not when sustaining has happened through methods that corrupt the very essence of what makes us human. Not when parasitism has been chosen over partnership, extraction over exchange, feeding over genuine connection. Your role is not to save from these choices. Your role is to honor your own light enough to protect it from those who would steal it. Your responsibility is not to sacrifice yourself trying to heal the unhealable. Your responsibility is to preserve your gifts for those who will receive them properly, and use them to genuinely grow. I must interrupt this transmission for just a moment. Are you really chosen? Prove it. It's easy to watch videos about chosen ones. It's another thing to put yourself to the test. If you're still here, that means something. But talk is cheap. Real chosen ones take action. That's why I built Destiny Engine. It generates personalized sequences that help you rewire betrayal into transcendence, turn isolation into sacred power, and transform their downfall into your rise. We are using the Dark Elite's own weapons against them, taking their declassified consciousness technology that programmed competition and scarcity and repurposing it to serve divine justice. You put on the headphones, press play, and watch your enemies choke on the rope their own lies created. If you're done consuming and ready to prove you're chosen, start your destiny engine for $1 today. Join the Obsidian Inner Order live checks and watch divine justice accelerate in your life. Link in the description. You are not a savior for this person. You are not a solution. You are not an energy source. You are a chosen one with a sacred mission that has nothing to do with being drained by someone who refuses to generate their own light. And the sooner you fully embody this truth, the sooner you become available for the connections and opportunities that actually align with your divine purpose. Now let me show you something powerful about what happens when you successfully protect yourself, when you set that boundary, when you refuse to participate in this parasitic exchange, when you choose your light over someone else's darkness. You do something that reverberates through the spiritual realm. You send a signal to the universe that you understand your worth, that you recognize your purpose, that you're ready for what comes next. Because here's what most people don't realize. Every time a chosen one successfully protects their energy from a predator, the collective frequency rises. Every time someone like you says no to exploitation, it becomes easier for the next person to say no. Every time you honor your boundaries, you strengthen the boundaries of every other lightworker on this planet. Your choice isn't just personal, your choice is cosmic. Think about what this person represents on a larger scale. This is the energy of consumption that has infected humanity for generations. The belief that you can take from others without giving back. The idea that shortcuts exist to avoid doing your own inner work. The corruption of sacred practices for selfish gain. This isn't just one sick individual. This is a pattern that's been playing out across humanity for centuries. And every time someone like you recognizes it, names it, and refuses to feed it, that pattern weakens. Every time you choose differently, you break a chain that's been binding humanity to lower consciousness. Every time you protect your light, you make it possible for more light to enter this world. Your boundary is revolutionary. Your no is sacred activism. The root chakra, which should ground you to earth and provide stability, has become a vacuum that pulls constantly from anyone nearby. The sacral chakra, meant to house creativity and healthy desire, has twisted into pure compulsive need. The solar plexus, your power center, has inverted to become a mechanism for taking power, rather than claiming your own. Every energy center has been corrupted from its divine purpose. This corruption is contagious. When you engage intimately with someone whose entire energetic system is reversed like this, your own system starts to mirror it. Your chakras begin learning the pattern of extraction instead of generation. Your energy body starts to forget how to draw from source because it's getting used to the false high of stolen energy. This is why you must protect yourself. This is why distance is essential. This is why your boundary is literally a matter of spiritual survival. The deadly secret goes even deeper than what's been revealed so far. This person knows something that most people don't understand about energy exchange. There's a specific moment during intimate connection when your defenses are completely down, when your energy body is wide open, when transfer happens most efficiently, and that moment has been identified, studied, weaponized. During peak intimacy, during the moment of deepest connection, your aura essentially merges with the other person's aura. In healthy exchange, this creates a beautiful fusion where both people's energy elevates each other. But when one person knows how to manipulate this moment, when awareness exists of exactly when to pull, when to visualize taking rather than sharing, the entire exchange becomes predatory. You're being approached by someone who has mastered this dark art, someone who knows precisely when your guard drops, someone who understands exactly how to position themselves energetically to maximize extraction, someone who has practiced this so many times that it's become automatic, unconscious, a reflex built into every intimate encounter. And the tragedy is that the rush you feel when this happens, the intensity of the connection, that's actually your life force being pulled out of you at high speed. What feels like powerful chemistry is really powerful theft. What seems like an incredible connection is really an incredible violation. Your body interprets the rapid energy transfer as pleasure because it doesn't know the difference between giving energy joyfully and having energy ripped from you skillfully. If you allow this person access, if you share intimate space, if you participate in the exchange, The depletion won't be immediate. It will be gradual, subtle. You'll wake up the next day feeling tired, but you'll blame it on lack of sleep. You'll feel foggy, but you'll think it's stress. You'll notice your energy is lower, but you'll rationalize it away. But over time, the effects compound. You'll find yourself getting sick more easily. Your own spiritual practices won't feel as powerful. Your ability to help others will diminish. Your light will literally start to dim. And the whole time you'll be wondering what's wrong with you, not realizing that what's wrong is you're being systematically drained by someone who needs your energy to survive. And here's the most insidious part. As you get weaker, you'll become more dependent on this person, because in their presence, you'll actually feel brief moments of getting some of your energy back. What's really happening is they're giving you tiny amounts of your own stolen energy to keep you hooked, to keep you coming back, to keep you available as a food source. It's like a drug dealer giving free samples to create addiction. The way this person stays alive is against divine plan, because the universe never intended for any being to survive by consuming others in this way. Even in nature, predators and prey exist in balance. The lion doesn't drain the life force from the gazelle before it dies. The wolf doesn't extract spiritual energy from the deer. Physical predation exists within natural law. But this, what's being done to you, this transcends natural predation and enters the realm of spiritual vampirism. And spiritual vampirism is one of the darkest practices that exists, because it doesn't just harm the individual being drained, it disrupts the entire energetic ecosystem. When you're depleted, you can't fulfill your role in the collective. When your light is stolen, the people who needed that light stay in darkness. When your healing energy is siphoned off, the healing that was supposed to happen through you never occurs. The universe has a response to this. Divine justice isn't like human justice. It doesn't wait for courts or evidence or judgment. It operates through natural law. When someone violates the fundamental principles of energy exchange, when someone builds their existence on theft rather than creation, when someone corrupts the sacred for the profane, the universe responds with what's called karmic rebalancing. This rebalancing has already begun for this person. The sickness you see is just the beginning. The desperation you sense is the early stage. What's coming is a complete dismantling of everything built on stolen energy. Every material gain achieved through feeding will collapse. Every relationship formed through manipulation will dissolve. Every bit of false vitality will evaporate. And what will remain is the truth of what exists underneath, the emptiness, the void, the complete absence of genuine light. You're being protected from being present when this collapse occurs. You're being warned so you can step back before the implosion, because when someone who's built their entire existence on parasitism finally runs out of sources to feed from, the fall is catastrophic. The body shuts down rapidly without stolen energy to sustain it. The mind fractures from facing what's been done. The spirit experiences a dark night that can last lifetimes. Your protection, your boundary, your refusal to engage, this is you aligning with divine justice rather than becoming a casualty of it. This is you choosing to be part of the solution rather than part of the problem. This is you honoring the sacred responsibility that comes with carrying the light you carry. And when you make this choice, when you set this boundary, when you protect your energy from this predator, something miraculous happens in your own system. Your energy body recognizes that you've chosen correctly. Your chakras begin to strengthen. Your aura becomes more vibrant. Your connection to Source deepens, because you've demonstrated that you understand the value of what you've been given. The divine responds to this level of discernment with increased blessings. When you show that you can protect what's sacred, you get trusted with more sacred gifts. When you prove that you won't waste your light on parasites, your light gets amplified so you can reach more people who will actually use it for growth. When you honor your boundaries, the universe honors you with opportunities that only become available to those who've passed this particular test. The ones who fail this test are the ones who let compassion override discernment, the ones who think they can love someone into healing, the ones who believe their light is strong enough to overcome someone else's darkness. And what happens to them is tragic. Their gifts become compromised, their missions become delayed, their light becomes dim. Some never recover. Some spend years rebuilding what got drained in months. But the ones who pass this test, the ones who set the boundary, the ones who choose their purpose over someone else's parasitic needs, they step into a level of power and clarity that changes everything. Doors open that were previously locked, connections manifest that were previously impossible, gifts activate that were previously dormant. This is what's waiting for you on the other side of your no. Now let me tell you something else about this deadly secret that might surprise you. This person you're dealing with, this energy vampire who's approaching you, didn't start out this way. There was a time, probably far in the past, when genuine light existed there, when real gifts were present, when authentic spiritual potential was alive. But somewhere along the journey, a choice got made. Maybe it was a moment of desperation. Maybe it was a shortcut that seemed harmless at the time. Maybe it was one instance of taking instead of generating that felt so good, so easy, so effective, that it got repeated, and then repeated again and again, until the pattern became the identity, until the stealing became the survival mechanism, until the person who once had light became the predator who feeds on light. This is the warning embedded in this message for you. This is why your boundary matters so much, because if you engage, if you allow the draining, if you participate in this parasitic exchange, you don't just lose energy, you learn the pattern, you experience how effective it is, you feel how much easier it is to take from someone else than to do your own work. And that knowledge, that experience, it plants a seed that could one day grow into the same corruption you're witnessing now. Your no to this person isn't just about protecting your energy today. It's about protecting who you'll become tomorrow. It's about refusing to learn patterns that could corrupt your own practice. It's about staying on the path of generation rather than extraction, creation rather than consumption, giving rather than taking. When you successfully navigate this challenge, when you recognize the predator and protect yourself, you gain wisdom that makes you exponentially more effective as a healer. Because now you know what real parasitic energy feels like. Now you can recognize it instantly in others. Now you can warn people before they become victims. Now you can spot the patterns that you might have missed before. This is how the universe works. Nothing is wasted. Every challenge contains a gift. Every attack contains a lesson. Every predator that approaches teaches you something that makes you stronger, wiser, more effective in your mission. The key is to extract the lesson without becoming the victim, to gain the wisdom without suffering the damage, to learn from the encounter without engaging in the exchange. And now you understand why that protection matters so much. Now you see what's really at stake. Now you comprehend the full scope of what's being attempted and what the consequences would be if you allowed it to succeed. The animal circling your campfire isn't just hungry, it's dying. And it sees your fire as the only thing that can keep it alive a little longer. But your fire wasn't lit for that purpose. Your light wasn't ignited to sustain parasites. Your flame was kindled by the divine to illuminate paths for those walking in darkness who genuinely want to find their way. Your warmth was created to comfort those who are cold and willing to build their own fires. Your energy was generated to inspire others to generate their own, not to be stolen by those who refuse to do the work. The difference between you and this predator is fundamental. You create, this person consumes, you generate, this person extracts, you build, this person depletes, you're ascending, this person is descending, and no amount of your light can reverse someone else's chosen trajectory. No quantity of your energy can transform someone committed to remaining in corruption. This person hiding the deadly secret, this individual whose survival depends on violating divine law by stealing energy from others, a learning is about to happen that the universe doesn't allow these violations indefinitely. What's been done is catching up, the sickness is progressing, the darkness is spreading, and you're being protected from becoming part of the downfall. Make the right choice. Choose your light over the darkness being offered. Choose your purpose over the parasitic needs being presented. Choose your alignment over the manipulation being attempted. Choose yourself, your path, your divine assignment over temporary attraction to someone operating against everything sacred. You were chosen for better than this. You were created for more than this. You carry too much light, too much purpose, too much responsibility to waste it on someone who learned how to feed on what you have instead of generating their own. The world is waiting for what only you can give. The people who need your authentic gifts are searching for you. The opportunities aligned with your true purpose are approaching. But you have to be available. You have to be intact. You have to be powerful. And somewhere in the future you'll look back on this moment. You'll remember the choice you faced. You'll recall the temptation you resisted. You'll recognize this as the turning point, when you truly stepped into your power, when you fully claimed your authority, when you completely embraced your identity as a chosen one, who understands that protection is just as sacred as compassion, that boundaries are just as spiritual as openness, that saying no to the wrong thing is how you say yes to everything right. The deadly secret has been revealed. The pattern has been exposed. The warning has been delivered. Now you know exactly what you're dealing with. Now you see clearly what's really happening. Now you understand the stakes. What you do with this information determines everything that comes next. Your moment of truth is here. Your choice is now. Your future is being shaped by what you decide today. Protect your light, honor your purpose, set the boundary. Walk away from anyone whose survival depends on stealing what the divine gave you to share with those who are truly ready to receive it. The choice is yours. Make it count.